Hello and welcome to another edition of Comics and Pop. Today we are going to discuss a show that probably, in my opinion, had one of the best opening credits scenes ever in any shows. We're going to discuss the first 3 episodes of PeaceMaker. I'll start. I didn't even introduce ourselves. I'm Jonathan Rosen, along with Troy Cannon and Carlos Idarraga. And I love this show. I really, really love this show. There's so many things that we could talk about. There was some, even with, and you know me, I hate political agenda. It was definitely pushed in there in some things, but I still love this show. But I'll give my thoughts. I'll take it away. You guys, and we've been starting with Troy. Carlos, take it away today.
I think it's funny how the last episode, like the last thing that we did was Boba Fett. And, we were like, I guess we were both, obviously I loved it. And you guys were kind of like on the fence and stuff. But PeaceMaker, dick jokes. Yes, best show ever. but PeaceMaker. So let's see. So like the PeaceMaker, obviously, as we know, is a spinoff from Suicide Squad, the second Suicide Squad movie, and that's pretty much how it started out. It started out with them doing a little bit of a recap of the Suicide Squad. How he got to where he's at. He's in jail, and he gets busted out of jail. Not busted out of jail. He gets taken out of jail so he can still keep working for Amanda Waller and that crew as a hitman, basically. So the first Suicide Squad movie was bad. The second one was actually kind of good. James Gunn did the second one, right?
Right. That's why it was good.
Right. So he's doing this. So I guess obviously, so the second one was pretty decent. This show, I was going into it with it's probably going to be crappy, but I had mixed feelings. I liked the show because it was very funny, and it had my type of comedy, our comedy, which is obviously dick jokes. We love dick jokes, but
it was more than that.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, it was. The whole dialogue, everything about it. I mean, the opening sequence was hilarious. I mean, you can watch that over and over again.
50, 60 times now. They're watching that.
Yeah, it was really funny. The story is kind of entertaining, but obviously, it's nonstop laughter. Basically, it's like it's like a comedy romp. It's like watching what's the name of that movie when the guy gets married. I always think of names. The movie The Hangover is like watching The Hangover, kind of. It's just nonstop laughter and fun, and it was great and it was fun. And I think if you're gonna take it for what it is, just as funny comedy, you're gonna love it. It's hilarious. As far as like a superhero show goes, to me it was more of a comedy than an actual superhero show. So I mean, I'm gonna take it for what it is. It's fun. It's kind of like a in-person version of what do they do? MODOK, the cartoon MODOK, which was I watched that and that was really funny. It was the whole thing was scampy and funny, but this was kind of like live action instead of cartoon. So I mean, so far, my initial reaction is I really enjoyed it.
Sure, give me your initial thoughts.
I got to agree. I did like the opening. The first time I saw it, I was like, well, what's happening? I don't know what's going on. And they're dancing all stiff and everything, and nobody's making any expression. And I was like, satire. I get it. Okay, all right. They're being funny. And I like that they're bringing in some other people. I like that they're opening up the world. John Cena, Batista, and The Rock are the biggest names to come out of the wrestling world and enter the Hollywood world. Previously, we had Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, maybe, and Bret Hart. And I'm like, But now the big three are actually, they're all entertaining and funny. I like all of them. And I think all of them could get up and have a fist fight about who's the funniest because they're all freaking hilarious. And John Cena brings it in this. He brings the hilarity. He's not afraid of attacking himself to make a scene funny. I like the gore. I like they're shooting each other in the face. I like it. I'm curious as to what a butterfly is. I'm embarrassed to say it's probably in the books and I just don't know it. I don't recognize term, but I'm like a butterfly. Wow, it's got to be like an alien, right, man? And I'm fighting with myself. I'm like grabbing my phone, trying to put it down because I want to Google it and find out. And I'm like, no, it's got to be in one of these boxes. So I'm curious about what that is. I like that Amanda Waller is still influencing the show. They probably played a ton for her to do that little itty bitty teeny tiny deal, you know. But it looks good. And what's his name? Idris Elba's character isn't dead. You know, a lot of the team isn't dead, so they could show up in the show.
I was wondering about that too, if they're going to have like little cameos at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool. But I liked when I was a kid. I used to like PeaceMaker. I didn't know about his social views back then. I was a kid. You know, I didn't know that he had particular preferences for the cookout. You know, certain people couldn't come. I wasn't aware of that. But I like the character because of the helmet. And I guess that the biggest thing for me when I was a kid was the crisis. When he was in crisis and he was shooting people, and then one of the things grabs him, the space things grab him, and he blows up. And I was like, but that's a superhero. But he wasn't really a superhero. He was kind of like the Punisher. He just killed people, you know? So I had a little bit of knowledge about him from the comics. John Cena is expanding on the character, and he's making this a great character. And I dig it. First 3 episodes, I'm invested.
Well, the PeaceMaker didn't start out like that. I mean, I was watching this whole thing about the history of the PeaceMaker. I mean, it started out as a different company, and DC, when they acquired it, they changed him. Yeah, so PeaceMaker did not start out like it is. But I got to say, I mean, to me, Cena just killed this. I liked Cena. I like Cena as a wrestler. I thought he was good at, but to me, like Troy, you just said, I thought he killed this. I was like, he was funny. Everything, every scene with the vigilante, I was hysterical. That torture scene just was hilarious, and you know, the whole thing. And I want vigilante like in as many scenes as possible right now. And when they're like, you know, when he's saying like, you know, I'm gonna take off his toe, and like scenes like take them all off. I don't care. I was like on the floor then. So I was really liking this. The same thing. It's not like a typical superhero thing. It's you definitely see like the James Gunn influence in here. You see Guardians of the Galaxy influence. You see Suicide Squad type thing. And, you know, they're not taking themselves too seriously. And, you know, even that scene at the end where the butterfly comes out of the senator, and like, you know, PeaceMaker and Vigilante are just like staring at it like, you know, what the hell is that? It was cool to me that these, like, you know, the heroes, you know, are kept in the dark about the whole thing. And between PeaceMaker and Vigilante, which one is more ludicrous? I mean, he kept changing his facial expression so they can't identify him later. But I love this. I just wanted to see where I watched it twice already. I barely watched. I don't go back and watch like all the series like one after the other. This one, PeaceMaker, I watched the second time right after I saw it the first time, just to try to catch all the little things. And he's saying that the dance sequence is based on what's going to be in the show. That if you look in the dance sequence, it gives little hints about what's going to be in the show. I don't get any of that yet. But like I said, I did watch the dance sequence like 50 times already. I'm like addicted. And I don't know if you guys saw it, like besides social media, that dance sequence was all over the news the next day. It was talked about everywhere. Like, you know, major publications, like, you know, are covering this dance sequence and how it's the best thing, you know, about that every series should now do a dance sequence as their opening thing. So, yeah, I loved it. I'm very curious where it's going to go. I want to see it. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm going to be bummed out when there's only one episode coming up on a week now. We got the first 3. But I don't know. And the scene with the father and PeaceMaker, when they were laughing about Idris Elba's character getting tortured by the rats, that they found that hysterical. That flew me also. Where do you guys think this is going, though?
So I guess the thing where I think it's going, that's where I think I got to do my get off my lawn, I guess. kind of moment. So growing up, I was always a Marvel fan, right? But I enjoyed some DC things, and one of the things that I did enjoy in DC was the Teen Titans. And in Teen Titans Annual #2, we were introduced to the Vigilante.
No costume today.
Vigilante. No, I was trying. It was too tight. It felt kind of. No, it was up against my nipples. It was like chafing my nipples. But anyway, so this is the first appearance of comics and blah 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 blah. And then he had his own series, Vigilante #1. And Vigilante was supposed to be kind of like a
Punisher,
DC's version of the Punisher.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, imagine that obviously Punisher is not in the MCU now, but let's say they bring him back. And they bring back Bernthal, and he's all slapsticky and funny and ha 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 blah 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 blah, blah, right? So to me, Vigilante, they pretty much created the character for this show, because Vigilante is he's a freaking vigilante. In the show he's a killer, but I mean they made a comedic version of him, obviously, right? Because obviously when we saw that PeaceMaker was gonna have to shoot the family, he froze, and Vigilante was like la 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 bing. Bing, bing, you're choosing them like nothing.
Yeah, you gotta shoot
that's what he is.
Like, I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what he is. He's the Punisher of the DC world. So to see him kind of like scampy, like I said, I enjoyed everything. It was hilarious, but where are you guys going to take this? Because at the same time, the PeaceMaker is part of the DC universe, right? Because it comes from the Suicide Squad and it's part of the current DC universe. And from what we understood, from my understanding, from everything that I'm reading, Warner Brothers is trying to get the whole Dark Zack Snyder universe, erased. Right.
But you got to do a show on that too. We got to talk about that at some point.
Right. Exactly. So that's fun. So then, because obviously this is going to be successful because it's freaking hilarious. So even if you're not a comic book fan, you're going to love it because it's so funny, understandably so. And like I said, I'm 100% for it. I love it. But is that where you're going to go, DC? Is DC going to be funny now and scampy? Superman going to come out and do like a dance, like cha-cha-cha,
Well, no, Superman's gone.
Huh?
Superman's
right, exactly.
gone, according to DC now.
It's Batman, I like how
no Batman either.
They mentioned Bat Knight. That was hilarious. I loved all the mentions and stuff. So, like I said, everything that they've done so far is hilarious. But is this going to be like a one-off type thing? Is the PeaceMaker going to be just like a little scampy comedy, just the feel good stuff, or they're going to actually make this part of is this how the DC universe is going to be going now? So that's my get off the lawn type moment. But like I said, I love it. I think it's hilarious. There's nothing not to like about it, but I'm not a big DC guy. So to me, I'm taking it for what it is. If this was Marvel and the Punisher came in and the Punisher was ha 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 and all laughy daffy, I'd be like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? I'd freak out. So that's the only thing that I guess that's my only worry. Is how are they going to?
Punisher did the crossover with Archie Comics at one point too. We know that,
right? But they're not going to do that in the MCU, So,
but I'll say this: one of the pendulum always swings the other way. It always, in life and everything. One of the criticisms that DC got through about the last, decade is that they're too dark. Every movie was really portrayed as dark, and you had those gloom overhead, and that fits with Batman. It didn't fit with every character. Superman's not like that, and they still made Superman this dark movie also. And to me, that's not Superman at all. That's not his character. I always go back, and it's like, this is showing our age. The same thing. They get off my lawn. This Christopher Reeve is Superman. Those are the way the movies should be. Superman is always like, good-hearted and, wants to do the right thing. These movies weren't like that. So that was one of the criticisms of Superman. So maybe this is showing, DC's light side finally. And not everything has to be like, this is the end of the world. And, we can't have any sense of humor about ourselves. I know, Troy, what do you think?
It's artistic license. People will take a known entity and change it. Genies are terrifying. The original stories of the Jinn are horrific, but now they got blue skin, they dance, and they zap you and put you in dancing shoes and stuff. Vampires are terrifying, but Now, if they stand outside instead of blowing up, their skin glows, and they got to take their shirt
brooding,
off.
getting sexy.
They're broody and sexy, yeah. And that's how it is with these things now. And they take the Marvel stuff and Thor, the Norse Danish god of thunder, who hits people in the head with a freaking hammer. He kills people like all of the time. Is telling jokes and getting fat and drunk. Oh no, oh no, no. He's like, they change things. So when PeaceMaker and Vigilante show up and they're different, I'm like, okay, as long as it's a good story. If they change it, like Carlos said, if we watch a movie and a Punisher shows up and he tells a joke and it's not like a dark one-off joke, it's the Punisher, don't go over there near him type joke, then it's wrong, man. They gotta have a little bit of integrity to the character. They gotta have a little bit of integrity to the character. And I think with PeaceMaker, he's such a vague character. I mean, it was originally his pop, and then it was him, and it was passed on. The name has changed a few times. So with Santa being him, the characters are slightly ambiguous, and you can stick stuff in there that people are going to be like, "Is he really like that? Maybe, I don't know." Guardians of the Galaxy, you got James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy, original Guardians of the Galaxy. This wasn't even the same team, but they bring this version of the team because not a lot of people knew it about him. So he could tweak it, change it. He could throw a monkey wrench in. He could do wacky things. I am really, really sad about the new Adam Warlock. But that's another. I think they're going to goof that up. I hope they don't.
That's another episode.
I want to punch that mouse in the face. I know that he's going to goof it up. But this worked. They took artistic license. They twisted things just enough that it works. But it's, again, just like Carlos said. I mean, you see the Vigilante, you expect him to walk up and just be like bang, 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 and kill everybody in the room, and then leave, smoke a cigarette, and go home and have a Danish or something. You expect that, but the comic that they made him meshes with Cena's comic, suicidal, murderous, lunatic. It meshes. It works. I really wish he'd have taken that last shot and gotten rid of the senator. Because that came back and bit him. Oh, Judo Master.
Oh yeah, Judo.
Okay. Judo Master has been a man and a woman. I was watching that show and I was debating with someone because the Judo Master was so small and the voice was so tweaked, I couldn't tell if it was the guy or the eventual woman that becomes the Judo Master. I couldn't tell because he's so small, and they're like, "Oh, I just want to put you in my pocket." I'm like, it could be a woman, but I'm pretty sure it's a dude. What do you guys think?
I thought it was. I thought it was a guy. I didn't even check. I didn't even check the cast list either.
Yeah, I think it was a guy. I don't recall him being a woman, but I think it was a guy. So it's, I don't know, man. To me, with this, like I said, I enjoyed everything about it, and I'm not taking it like a lot of these things to heart because I'm not I don't. It's not like you're taking one of my characters and killing it, like if they did something like that to Iron Man or, one of my Marvel Punisher or Daredevil or something like that, I would be upset because that's not how they're supposed to be. So I think maybe this is their version of maybe like trying to do like a Deadpool type character, I guess, but when I compare, like for instance, I love Deadpool. Deadpool was great. Those movies were hilarious and stuff like that, right? But when I think of my top 5 Marvel movies, I never include Deadpool in it. I'm not, because Deadpool is funny and it was great, but it wasn't I don't consider it like, the whole MCU greatness, like that kind of greatness. It was a really good movie and it was funny and it was, it was fun to watch and I enjoyed it. And that's kind of like how the PeaceMaker is to me. It's fun to watch. It's enjoyable, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, pretty much taking it for what it is. I'm not really digging too deeply into it, but like the whole thing, it's just, to me, it's just, is like when Troy was saying about Thor, right? Thor became funny and he says funny things, but everything that not everything that comes out of his mouth is funny. You know, everything that
Well,
John Cena
Hemsworth wanted that changed. He did not like Hemsworth did not like those first couple of movies. He did not like he did not like the tone of them. He wanted it to be more like the other Marvel movies.
Right. Which is fine. And those movies were great. You know, the what do you call it? Thor Ragnarok, that was fantastic. It was one of the best Marvel movies. And like I said, I enjoy comedy, so I enjoy it mixed in, but I like it mixed in, not the whole thing to be comedy. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing. I mean, from every single word, every time John Cena opened his mouth, it's a pun. It's something funny. Every single thing. Every time Vigilante opened his mouth, it was something funny. It was something funny. It was something which was funny. It was good. But I mean, these are supposed to be like, super villains and heroes and stuff, So it's kind of like, you going overboard with it? I don't know, man.
Well, listen, to me, it all depends on the character. These are characters that they take themselves very seriously. They think that they're like and which is part of the humor, that they're not all that. They, in their minds, they're all that. I mean, I never read Vigilante, so I didn't really know too much about the character. Like I said, I grew up Marvel. I read DC here and there, but only the major titles. So I didn't read a lot of the DC comics. So I knew of Vigilante, but I never really read it. So this was funny to me. And to me, I get what you're saying. I go by rewatchability. Mm-hmm. Like I've enjoyed not all, but I've enjoyed, some of the CW DC shows there too. Am I going to watch them again ever? No, I'm never going to watch them again. They were on once. I saw them. That's fine. PeaceMaker I already watched twice. I already watched that once more than I watched any of the CW shows. So I'll probably watch it again just because it was funny and entertaining to me. I like to be entertained. And no, I don't know if I'll put Deadpool up in the top 5 Marvel movies, but in my mind, I never really counted it as, even though it's a Marvel character, it wasn't part of the MCU yet. I'm anxious to see. I hope Marvel and Disney don't screw up Deadpool. I do want to see him interact with other characters, but I'm worried big time. Like we've talked about before, they're just going to screw it up, and tone him down. You can't have it tone down.
But just like what you're saying about PeaceMaker, right? To me, standalone, hilarious. All right. But if you're going to make it part of the DC universe, and let's say there's at a point where the Vigilante or something, let's say he comes across Batman, is he going to be like, la, 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 Batman, dancing and funny, Batman's not, Batman's not like that.
That to me, it was hysterical to me when he starts talking about, Aquaman banging fish. He has it on good word.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That but that's that's are they going to bring this kind of dialogue into the DC universe? You know what I mean? It would be like, I don't know. I just don't see it working. I don't see Batman as a scampy, telling jokes, and I just don't see that. That's why it's kind of like how this as a standalone, hilarious, funny, great, love it. I think it's. I was laughing out loud, when the whole scene when he's like, if I look, your penis is gonna be hard and you're gonna come all over my face, and I'm not falling for that again. I was dying. I thought that was hilarious, but it's like I said, that's not, that's the kind of stuff that you'll never see in a DC movie. You know what I mean? You would never see a Superman saying that to Batman. You know what I mean? You would never see it, so for a standalone PeaceMaker, hilarious, love it. I just want to see how if they're gonna tie it in to if now they got James Gunn involved and they got good people involved that are gonna make the movies and the shows good. How are you going to tie it into the whole DC universe? So I'm looking at it as a fan, as like if I'm watching, just like I'm watching Hawkeye, the series Hawkeye, how that's being tied into the MCU. So that's how I'm kind of like seeing this. Are they going to tie it into the DCU, or is it going to be more of a standalone type thing?
That whole time that Vigilante was talking to him from outside of his window, I was reaching over and I was eating a chip, and I'm reaching over and I'm eating a chip. And he's like, no, because you're going to throw it in my face. And I'm like, and I stopped, and I just immediately, I'm thinking, what has happened to you in your life that made you think that was about to happen? I mean, if I was sitting here and I was like, guys, you got to be careful. There's werewolves out tonight. You would say, what made you say that? Werewolves?
He was in prison.
He was in prison.
He was in prison, so that could answer it right there.
I was like, peekaboo, and threw it in his face. No, that's terrible. But they did try to comic up Batman and the Justice League. Like when Superman's like, "Oh, you brought me back. I didn't think you liked me." He's like, I don't not like you." I'm like, "Come on, Batman, don't tell jokes, man. That's not you. You're supposed to be dark and brooding. You're supposed to like be scary." The other Justice League members, some of them don't approach Batman because he's scary, and he's sitting up there telling jokes. Like I'm like, "Come on, Batman." So it doesn't work for everybody, but I'm hoping they're going to do it like Avengers movies. Everybody's got their own movie, and weird, wacky things are happening. Doctor Strange is supposed to be a horror flick, but the next time he's with the Avengers, it won't be a horror flick. Spider-Man is zany, funny. He's shooting webs all over the place, but he's a little, not a lot, but a little bit more refined when he's with them. Deadpool slaughters people, laughs, bends over, shoots between his legs, all that kind of stuff. I think he's going to do a lot of that, but it'll be pushed over to the side, and he won't be like standing next to Captain America talking about woohoo and shooting between his legs, because Cap is going to smash him with that shield for sure.
Well, Cap wouldn't be with them.
You know what? But you know what? Also,
Yeah,
Deadpool is like that in the comics as well.
Right.
So it's not, they kind of like they carried him over. So it wasn't like Deadpool serious character and they made him into a funny character. Vigilante is not like that in the comics. They just, I wonder whose idea it was to just say, hey, let's put Vigilante in it and let's make him,
Well, if they did, it's got to be Guns. But if they didn't, when are you going to see Vigilante ever in a movie? Vigilante wasn't the first person that they're going to say, "Hey, we got to get him in a DC movie."
Right? Why would you choose Vigilante and turn? It's just weird to me, but. I said, it's. It was funny. It could have been any character, as far as I'm concerned. They could have done any character. It was just weird that they did Vigilante when Vigilante. The guy's name is Vigilante.
I'm hoping we see Batmite.
Yeah, well, exactly. If I see Batmite, obviously, I expect it to be funny, right? So it's like, I don't know, but it was good. It was great. I'm gonna enjoy watching the rest of it. I hope it stays just as funny, and but like I said, I just want to see how they tie it. If they are going to tie it to, future Suicide or other characters, or what do you call it?
I don't see why they couldn't. Really, but this is that character. To me, this is the character. Why couldn't he be with it? And I get your point. Like the only funny Batman to me, was the Clooney Batman. We saw how that bombed. That was terrible. But why not? He was with in Suicide Squad. He was with more serious characters. Not all the characters there were supposed to be, all funny. Even though it was a funny movie, they weren't supposed to be. So,
right. In Suicide Squad, he wasn't like that.
He was funny in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but nowhere to this point. Not even close to this kind. Because obviously, Suicide Squad was a PG-13 movie, so it wasn't. there was nowhere near this kind of,
No, he's back in his own element now. He's back with his own friend. And he gets to be himself. He's not, he's like the clear, in his mind right now, he's the clear leader. Back in Suicide Squad, he was like fighting for that. He wanted to be seen as that, but he wasn't seen as that.
Right.
They're clearly building up for the next villain too, White Dragon, his pop. So they're building up for that. And I see the particular angle they're going to go with that, which will help PeaceMaker. He's a little bit of a goof. He's the social misfit, but he doesn't have the exact same beliefs as his father. The one girl, the daughter, thinks that he might be a little racist, but at the same time, he's going to battle. I believe he's going to battle his father.
Yeah.
His father's a white supremacist. His father's like his father's like a Nazi.
They're showing the friendship between them, between the man, Waller's daughter and him. So they're showing the friendship. They're showing them, how they're growing on each other and they're liking each other. So not that way. But they're, but they.
Right. Well, obviously, PeaceMaker's not his dad. Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. That's not the route that they would take.
Right.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't have John Cena.
I did like all those helmets, though.
The helmets were good. It was good.
That he blew up that creature.
Fly gets inside of you. It controls your body and makes you part alien or part meta or part machine or something, because they haven't really
butterfly.
Yeah, the butterflies. Because that chick gave him the business. She was tossing him all over the room.
I guess they're kind of like you know, I know that Alien comic books are kind of like coming back into, and I think DC. I'm not 100% sure, but I think DC's doing Alien comics. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, I guess it's kind of yeah, they go inside you and they control your mind. I guess but they kind of make they kind of like Venom. I guess they go inside you and they make you into a superhuman. I guess
because it took over that whole family. I mean, so those kids were either taken over or they were just shells for for this alien species to take over.
Right. But the alien obviously goes inside you and he it turns you into a super gives you superpowers, I guess, because it's not, the one that he had sex with that he killed, she was super strong and she jumped out of the thing, out of the 5th-story building and landed on her feet. So, if it's no human can do that. So the thing takes over your body and makes you into a superhuman, I guess, And
I wondered about that. If she had plans on killing him, why did she sex him first? Why did she give him?
Why not?
It's good loving. I guess.
Yeah, I don't think she had plans on killing him, though.
Yeah, right.
I don't think
until she saw the dossier.
Right, she saw the dossier, and then she saw, okay, this guy's a butterfly. Now I got to kill him.
Dossier first,
huh?
But she saw the dossier after. I'm thinking
afterwards. She was in bed already. Remember, he was brushing his teeth and stuff, or getting ready.
She saw the dossier after he slept with her, right?
Yeah.
Not that maybe she was already a butterfly, so she might have. I mean, she might have already had the chance. She might have already wanted to kill him, but
the human needs too, though.
Right, exactly. She knew she had to kill him once she saw the dossier.
I'm gonna have to tell you guys one day about this time I was on this dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, met this girl at a hotel. Wasn't a butterfly, but I'm pretty sure that chick was a vampire.
Wait, what hair? What hair are we talking about?
It was a long time ago before I started getting in my head. I had dreadlocks.
But overall, I mean, like you said, I love this show. That was my overall thing. I loved it. I cannot wait for the rest of the series. I read that James Gunn is doing another DC series after this one, so that he's already signed on for another series. I don't even know which one that is. I got to read more on that. But yeah, I cannot wait. This was definitely one of my favorite DC series that I've seen so far. I mean, any hero series. I really enjoy this, and I can't wait for more. What about you guys then? Last thoughts?
Oh, DC wise, it's the best series that I've ever seen. DC wise, I don't think I've ever seen a better series DC wise. Because it was fantastic. It was hilarious. Like, I mean, all the WB stuff. Like, the only one that I kind of enjoyed, me personally, was
CW
Arrow.
Now. CW now.
Right, but the what do you call it? The Arrow. I enjoyed the first couple seasons.
Yeah,
and I liked I kind of liked a little bit of Gotham. I thought Gotham was kind of cool. I watched the first season of that. But like most of the other stuff, it's okay, but it's not like I don't like go out of my way to watch it. But this is hands down the best out of any of the TV DC stuff has done.
Troy, final thoughts?
I will agree. This is leaps and bounds beyond them because they moved that heavy-handed approach that they had previously. Like you guys were saying, they were making everything so dark. They removed that, put Gunn in there, who apparently has the ability to bounce from DC to Marvel. It's an incredible superpower. He's in there, and he's guardian of the galaxy and it up. He's guardian the joint up, and it works. Again, like Carlos said, I hope they're not going to do that with every single one of them, because that'll be wacky. But here, for this one, it works. They might, as good as he is, they might need to change him to do another series so it has another feel. I don't want the whole comedy thing through all of them. But this one killed it. This one was incredible. This was great.
Well, to me, sorry, go ahead, Troy. Finish up.
I really want somebody to shoot the dad in the face. But other than that, it's great.
I mean, to me, I don't mind if every PeaceMaker, if they do season 2, I hope it's the same way as season 1, because that's what I'm now expecting from PeaceMaker.
Well, PeaceMaker, I want to stay like this, but if James Gunn is doing like a different project, like he's doing Teen Titans or something else. I'd like it to have a different feel. But PeaceMaker, it's right where it should be. It's right in its lane.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's I want PeaceMaker to stay this way. I wouldn't necessarily love it at every DC show, although every DC show could use a little humor. I'll say that. Every other one. But
one final point, just to veer off a little bit off topic, but kind of stay on topic. One of my favorite, you guys know that how I feel about cartoon shows, cartoon movies. I don't really get into them and stuff. But one of my favorite series is the Teen Titans Go. You guys ever watch Teen Titans Go? Mm-hmm. Hilarious. It's really funny. And this kind of reminds me of that. This kind of reminds me of Teen Titans Go. It's scampy and it's funny, but it's a cartoon. So this to me was good, and it was kind of like cartoonish almost. So it kind of reminds me of a dirty version of Teen Titans Go, basically.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like I said, I love it. I do want to see more. I can't wait for this series to end. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. Let us know, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see, and overall, what you think of the program. Again, thank you for watching. This has been Comics and Pop. I'm Jonathan, along with Troy and Carlos. And please subscribe. Thank you.
Subscribe. Yes.